We're at the end, week number 8. Wow. Hopefully this series has been good for you. Just a reminder, it's not just a series, it's kind of our theme for this year. From September all the way to next September, I will bring this up more and more, just taking ground like Israelites and Joshua. Just a reminders about God's faithfulness. And today as we close, honestly, this could have been a year series, 2-year series. There's so much. Like this, this morning we talked about Rahab, and last week we talked about Caleb a few weeks ago, and different things like that. But today, as we kind of close, I want to spend those last 2 chapters of Joshua. What did Joshua do? So the inheritance went out, the tribes got broken up, and the baton was passed not just to one person, but regions, kind of tribes. And so now Joshua is older, fought the battles, fought the good fight. Now he's actually kind of closing his remarks. Like, when you're done, what are you going to say to your people? What are you going to do to inspire them or challenge them? And it's Joshua chapter 23 and 24. And we get to this point of 23 of this. He's sharing about ancestors. He's reminded people how far they've come, how God has been faithful. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and going through the Red Sea and the Jordan River, talking through not just what they've been through in the last few years, but what they've been through for hundreds of years. And the whole purpose is to remind the people, stay faithful because God has been faithful. And he talks about God's faithfulness. And then he's talking about challenging them about, now it's your time to make a choice. And this is interesting because the story is saying, like, since God's been faithful, you need to be faithful. How are you going to carry the baton? How are you going to carry this into your homes, into your families, and into your next generations? And so he's establishing not just families, but new families coming in. We're building a nation of God. And so we're building this nation. So how's it look? So Joshua, final farewell tells us about, like, this is what God has done. This is what he's going to continue to do. But you need to make a decision. So I want to close with this verse. And if you can just read along with me in Joshua chapter 24. It's 14 through 15. And here's how it goes. Now fear the Lord and serve him with all faithfulness. Throw away the gods of your ancestors' worship beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. Get rid of the old gods. Get rid of those. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. That's the challenge. Whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you are living. But as for me, this is the last thing he said, and we're going to read today, in his final chapter, not the last thing he said, but as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Put that together. Choose today whom you will serve, and as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. We're going to end this series, not just me sharing, but Jackson Getz, who's interning with us, been part of our church, and I've asked him to share kind of his family, share his kind of testimony, because, listen, I think it's important for us to hear stories of God's faithfulness and God's change and saying, as for me, my house, we will serve the Lord, a difference that makes. And after that, we can talk together.
Hello, Watermark Church. My name is Jackson, if you don't know me already. And Pastor Jarvis just asked me to share a little bit about my family and my parents. So I have an older brother and a younger sister, and I have 2 parents. What a surprise. I have 2 parents. They've been married for 25 years, and that is amazing. And I just want to share a little bit about how their decisions have impacted my life. So a little bit of background. Both of my parents come from divorced families. They grew up in a divorced household. But that is not the only thing that they have in common. They both made the decision to follow Jesus and to commit their lives to God. And because of that commitment, it has completely changed my life. They met in college, they got married, and from that, they didn't just decide to commit their own lives, but they decided to commit their marriage and their ministry, and then ultimately they decided to commit me and my siblings to God. And their decision, their commitment has radically changed my life. I am a living, walking, talking, breathing testimony of their decision and God's goodness in my life. They've been pastors for 25 years, and because of that, I've been raised in the church. I've grown up in the church for my entire life. And again, I'm just a living testimony of the generational impact that they had on my life. And God is present in my life. I have a relationship with God because of them, because of their impact. And I am so grateful, so grateful for everything they've done for me. So my encouragement to you guys is just that your decisions matter. Your choices that you're making right now, the stuff you're sacrificing, the work you're putting in, it all matters. And it may not feel like it. You may feel frustrated with your kids. But I just want to let you know that those decisions, those choices matter. So thank you so much for being faithful. We love you. Goodbye.